All right, moving forward, may I please request Mr. Bhuvan Purohit, Executive Director, Rubamin Private Limited, to please enlighten your deep insights for today's session. May I please request Mr. Bhuvan Purohit to please come up on the dais. Over to you, Mr. Purohit.
First, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, my thanks to the Battery Show, Rajneesh and John, for giving us this opportunity. I'm here to give you a perspective of the recycler for lithium-ion batteries, and you may address the questions later. For those who are not aware, I represent Rubamin, which is a recycling company with almost 4 decades of experience in pyrometallurgy and hydrometallurgy practices in India. We are also into mining, mineral exploration, gas production, and engineering services, apart from the recycling, which is our mainstay in India. As a recycler, I'm very happy that I'm faced with an industry where recycling has been talked about along with the creation of batteries even before we have advanced chemistry cells in India. I also take this opportunity to thank the CPCB and MOEF who are striving to create extremely robust framework for responsibility, accountability, traceability, and tracking of battery materials in the economy. It may come as a surprise to some of you that, from the place where I stand, India is very much poised, equal to any other country in recycling setup. Our laws are getting framed, but I think we are very well poised to take on the recycling of lithium-ion batteries in the country, and the technology and processes are as evolved as any other country because it's a new subject for almost everybody, and the only advantage India faces is that we have companies which have been practicing hydrometallurgy for over 4 decades now. So I'll give you a quick look at the hydrometallurgy, circular recycling possibilities and examples from India to give you a feel of where we are heading. I've already talked to you about what Rubamin is. We are a $330 billion group. And these are the metals of our interest. We have been already dealing with cobalt, nickel, copper, manganese, molybdenum, zinc, tungsten, vanadium, and now lithium is the new element which is getting added from 2024. From a recycling side, there is only 3 ways that you can lose a metal. One is that you choose to discard, or you fail to collect, or the treatment processes are inadequate and there are handling losses. So far as the metals are concerned, everything other than this is recoverable. The statutes are putting a stop to sending it to the landfills. There is this infrastructure which is getting built for collection of material, and handling losses are minimized by the kind of technology that the recyclers are adopting. What's important for a circular economy framework is some of these points that the recycling community and all the others have to keep in mind. The first one being the customer. You have to focus on the OEMs and the end users' requirement in this new position. There is constant innovation. You cannot let anything go waste, and there has to be circularity within the processes which are recycling processes. You don't have to measure your recycling only by return on investment, but you'll have to look at the potential for circularity as well as how you are transiting towards a circular model, which means you have to measure and report for circularity. Then there is this community of industry which you have to build around yourself so that you're able to use each other's products and lend more circularity and higher value addition. And last but not the least, you have to invest in research to remain circular and to move towards circularity. So there is no easy way out, but there are certainly technology available. Just to give you a look at what a circular economy recycling in India looks like, that's the image of the green recycling facility of Rubamin in Halol, which is dealing with all the metals which I talked about. And that's what the site looks like. So unlike, I'm trying to give you a feel of recycling setups in India, which not many people have had the experience of seeing. It's a 65-acre facility with zero waste and zero discharge from this system while recovering all the metals in a circular manner. And I'll talk a little bit more about that before I come to the conclusion. That's what the interiors of the plants look like. If you have, sometimes people ask me that, the recycling in India is not evolved, that you must visit this facility to see where the country is heading and where the recycling industry is heading. This is an efficient and low GHG extraction of molybdenum, cobalt, tungsten, vanadium, and it is a live example of circularity. This site where we are talking of already having achieved zero waste, we are working towards zero river water. Now, a hydrometallurgy process doesn't work without water. It consumes a lot of water, but Rubamin has already moved 50% away from the river and underground water through an artificial lake, which I'll show you more. There is zero fossil energy targets, which we have built for the coming years. There is zero incident with DuPont safety systems and an initiative towards zero carbon. And that's the lake which exists in the facility and provides water for the recycling. There is a GRI reporting available on the websites. There is a ESG score from EcoVadis. There is a circularity measurement by KPMG for a 30% already circular system. There is a CDP disclosure coming up 2023, and there is a SBTi alignment, which is Science-Based Target Initiative, which we are doing for the coming year. The R&D investments, what you see is the real R&D, and on the right side is the image by the architect of the R&D, which is groundbreaking October 23, which is a couple of weeks from now. That's the lithium-ion battery recycling project, 5-month-old picture. This project is going to go live July 24, recycling 10,000 tons of lithium-ion battery in a circular manner, giving the chemicals back to the battery industry. What is very important from the battery industry side is that the OEMs, the manufacturers, have to realize that we need to have a lot of more dialogue. It has to become a little more open than what it is today. You have to design for recycling. You have to provide what kind of materials you are coming up with for the recyclers to prepare in advance that they can recycle and give the materials back to you because of the fast changing nature of the technology and the industry. There is a demonstration facility already available for 5 kg black mass processing, and the products from raw material to the final products can be seen within the same setup, and the company is ready to provide samples to any kind of precursor makers, CAM producers, or the OEs. What is required for the recycling in India to go to the next level? As I told you that we are almost at the level or at par with any other country in terms of capability. In fact, a little more experience is available for hydrometallurgy. There are some points which we have to keep in mind, that all these metals or materials which are coming out of the lithium-ion batteries are a hazardous waste. The enforcement of already existing laws is the most critical challenge India faces to keep this industry organized. What is coming out as hazardous waste has to be treated as a hazardous waste and must go to licensed producers and not distributed in different names as it is happening today under the electronic waste policy of the country. So there is a lot of work that CPCB is doing here, and I hope that it actually materializes in the right possible manner. There's a lot of encouragement which is required to import of what unfortunately India calls waste, but are recyclables and are resources. So we need to open up, given the fact that India is a signatory to Basel Convention, given the fact that we have a robust system of central and state control over the recycling activities. We have licenses being issued for hazardous waste control. There are new portals being designed. I think we have evolved as a country and as a world to transit and transact in recyclables. And that needs to be recognized. And it has to be made, the flow of material to India has to be made a little more reasonable and a little more easy so that these resources can be used to provide the much needed critical metals to the economy and to the battery OEMs, the industry which is getting started in India. Producer responsibility. I'm very happy when I look at this industry because the auto OEMs are responsible and evolved companies, and so are the battery producers. That makes life a lot more easier for organized recycling. So the EPR is a kind of a very good tool, not to be shunned, not to be frowned upon, but to be adopted so that you take charge of the recycling and let your recyclables flow to the right and most responsible companies so that you get the material back in a circular manner. And last but not the least, the government is coming up with a lot of support to the recycling and to the battery industry. What needs to be kept in mind is that, unfortunately, when I read the recycling definition under the batteries management rules, it said recycling is an activity which involves recycling. So you can't define like that. You have to be very, very precise of what recycling is. So there are preparatory activities, there are collection activities, and then there is recycling. Now, if you take a battery and collect it, you are a part of the overall recycling chain, but you are not a recycler. If you break a battery and extract black mass, you have only converted one hazardous waste into 3 more hazardous waste, which is the plastic and the metals and the black mass. The recycling happens when a waste input goes into the system, and what you get is a final product on the HS scale. And I think the incentives, the process has to recognize that, and it has to be granted on the basis of actual recovery of lithium, cobalt, or nickel, and if it is circular, even better. So I think, and those dialogues are being done. CPCB is doing that dialogue, and I'm very happy with the way government is taken. We are always open to dialogue and approach the government and give them the information about the industry. So I think with that, I will close the presentation by saying that Indian recycling is very much evolved. There are circular recyclers of metals in the country. The processes are being defined, the approvals are being sought, but considering the nascency of advanced cell in India, I think we are very well poised to take on the recycling, and we will grow with the industry. So there is no need. In fact, India can actually become the recycling hub for lithium-ion batteries for the world, given the kind of markets we have, given the kind of talent we have, given the cost structure, and given the maturity at which recycling industry has reached over the period of time. Thank you so much, and I'm available for any questions through the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Purohit, for sharing your insights with us today. I'm sure with the help of your new perspectives on the ever-changing world of batteries, we'll be able to look forward to a more sustainable future. May I please request Mr. Bhuvan Purohit to please be on the dais again and allow a little more time with us. And may I please also request Mr. Amit Sharma, who heads the conference division for renewable energy and the battery show, to please be on the dais and share a token of appreciation on behalf of Informa Markets India to Mr. Bhuvan Purohit, Executive Director, Rubamin Private Limited.